Welcome, everyone. We are live on this glorious Monday. And I am looking out the kitchen window and oh my God. What first clued me in this morning, there's a window in my closet. And I just saw the color of the sky and I said, shit. And I looked outside and I said, how did this happen? The cars are covered in snow, and I'm just like, how did this happen? When did this happen? Clearly overnight. But we didn't get any warning. I looked in my weather app yesterday and it didn't say anything about the snow in the forecast, but here we are. So we're gonna be short and we're gonna be sweet today. As we go through the day today, remember this: the all is mind. The universe is mental. What does it mean that the all is mind? When we hear the all is mind, we're like, what? Well, we hear the word consciousness. We hear the word awareness. We hear the word subconscious, conscious, superconscious. We hear those words. But they all represent one thing because there's only one mind. And the mind, not to be confused with the brain. You see, the mind is invisible, the brain is visible, which leads us to as within, so without. The thing on the inside is what you will see the evidence of on the outside. So when you hear the all is mind, it means, oh my goodness, I am aware that I exist. Listen, even if you are in a coma, okay, you know that you are in a coma because it was either something happened to you and put you in the coma or you had to be put into a medically induced coma. But either way, you know that you are. What they don't know is where they are or why they are, but they know that they are. That is mind. That is awareness. That is consciousness. Knowing that you are, knowing that you exist, knowing that you've been through things. Who knows? You know. And that is what the all is mind means. It means the foundation of who and what we say we are is wrapped up in mind, consciousness, awareness. Now, we cannot escape this. Even if you catch Alzheimer's, all you're doing is forgetting that you had a life. You're forgetting how to do things. You're forgetting, and then the body forgets what to do. But you know that you're forgetting. That is what the mind is. So now that you know what the mind is, your consciousness, your awareness, what are you aware of now? Because the all is mind. The universe is mental. It tells us that everything we experience on the outside was first thought of on the inside. Every great invention we have. Where did it begin? In the mind of someone, in the imagination of someone. So your awareness of yourself, then you could say, is your imagination. But either way we look at this, either way we look at it, the all is mind. So as you go through the day, ask yourself, wait, I I am? The all is mind? That's me? When you begin to do that, when you begin to drop this association of your mind with being something far-fetched, then you begin to truly grasp what is happening. The all is mind. The universe is mental. How do you apply that to your everyday life? You apply it to your everyday life by recognizing that it is you, like me. I got to go out and shovel the walkway right now. Who's going to do that? I am. I will go outside and I will be very aware that it is cold outside. You see, I am aware, but then I am aware that it is cold. So you see, the all is mind. So when you go through the day, pay attention. Pay attention to what you are and what you are doing, and see if those two things don't match. And you'll find that they do match. Because if you say, I am upset, I am happy, I am joyous, you'll realize that what you identify yourself as and how the body responds, those two things will match. Or you may get a contradictory feeling. But the all is mind, not brain, mind, your awareness of yourself. So the exercise to practice would be, what am I aware of right now? Are you aware of yourself? What you're doing, like right here in this moment? Are you aware that your heart is beating? I think it's quite funny. The heart is beating right now because clearly we're here, but you can't feel it. Of course, unless you had a stethoscope, you could hear it, or you put your hand on your chest and you could feel it beating under your palm. But we don't feel it. Like if you were running or you were scared, you'd feel it thump, thump, thump in your chest. But when you are nice and cool and calm and collected, you don't feel it. But you know that it is doing something. See, now you are aware of the heart beating. You are aware of it. See? And then you ask yourself, well, who's aware of it? Shoot, I am aware. So as you go through the day to day, begin to pay attention to who you are. And all you are is an observer. Oh? Well, are you beating your heart or are you just observing the heart beating? you okay then. You are observing the breath being taken. You are observing the inhale and the exhale. You are aware that it is happening. And then you describe what you are aware of. So take some time as you go through this day to become aware of your own existence. Not what you've been through, just your existence. Because once you start adding things to your existence, you tend to lose sight of yourself. It gets bogged down. Today is not that day to be bogged down. So once we get into the habit of I am, and in your awareness, what are you aware of? Just be aware of yourself. Be aware that you're walking. Be aware that you're listening. Just be aware of your own existence. And as you become more and more aware of your existence, you will begin to notice that you are actually observing the events in your life. Why do I say this to you? Because sometimes when we get caught up in the events of our lives, we think that we are the event. And it can overshadow your awareness. Oh, yeah, because then you fully commit to being that thing. You fully commit to the pain. You fully commit to the heartache. You fully commit to the trauma. But if you are an observer, you can say, oh, I understand that happened to me. And it removes the sting from it. It removes the sting, thereby freeing you from it. Right? So just practice today as you go out into the world. Practice being aware of your own existence. Practice being aware of the words that come out of your mouth. Practice being aware of the thoughts that you're observing as they go through your mind. And when I say mind in this sense, that's exactly what I mean. You are aware that you're having thoughts. But what made the thought emerge? Your mood. Because now you've conditioned that awareness to say, oh my God, I am so annoyed. So you see, take your time with this experiment. Because then, once you get comfortable with your own awareness, what can you make that awareness do? What can you make the awareness feel? That's the point. But first, you have to know that it is there because it is the foundation stone of everything in our lives. And because we don't know that it is the foundation stone, we look at our lives and our experiences and we think that the world is beating us. When in actuality, no, it is not. The little light just went on in the backyard, and I don't see anything back there. I don't see any bunnies. But the light went on, so there was a cause. And maybe I don't see the cause. See, that is life, right? Sometimes we this is what is really beautiful about understanding your own awareness. There's a cause and there's an effect because every cause has its effect and every effect has its cause. So if something happened, it was caused. And you see, when we get caught up in the experiences, we don't see the cause. The cause, if we would look backwards and get a sense of ourselves, our awareness. What are you aware of today? I'm aware that there's at least, I want to say, 6 inches of snow on the car. Oh, oh, I am aware of that, let me tell you. Mm. I am aware that it is there and I'm looking at it and I am aware that it causes me some angst. That's what I'm aware of. It causes me some angst to know that it is there, it is on the street. So when I get in my car, I've got two choices. I'm aware I'm the one driving the car. Now, how do I want to drive the car? And I say to myself, well, I am safe. That's nothing to toy around with. It's either I believe that or I don't. I can't get in and drive worried. Why not? Because if I drive worried, the car will do what I tell it to do. And I'm worried? No, y'all. So I'm telling you, your awareness of yourself influences your external experiences. Right? That's what it does. So how do I mitigate this problem? I can't snap my fingers. What am I, Thanos, and have the snow disappear? I would love it to be that way, to be in the tropics. But what I can do, leave the house considerably earlier. Just take my time. Right? You see, aware. You've got to be aware that you exist. And then what are you aware of? And now what are you going to do with what you're aware of? It is in every facet of our lives, right? It is in every single facet of our lives that we do this. You go to work. What are you aware of when you get there? All those things we do. And sometimes we forget ourselves. And we don't know why we do what we do. Because we're not watching ourselves. Watch yourself. And it all starts with that one thing. I am aware that I exist. So if you want to change your situation, let's get into it. So if you're in it this morning, if you're in the thick of things and you want to change your situation, first you must acknowledge what the situation is. Well, you have to become aware of the situation, right? Just the situation. And you say, well, the situation is dot, dot, dot. It is what it is. Now, what do you want it to be instead? Because that's where your desire has arisen from. This thing that you're going through. You want that thing to end. You want that thing to change. So then you look at it and you say, wait, oh, wow, I'm aware of this thing. When you're aware of something, it has your attention. So to get through what you're presently dealing with, you withdraw within the self. In other words, look down upon your situation from a bird's eye view. Meaning what? Get a different perspective. So in order to get a different perspective, you have to move. But where? In your mind's eye. That is the only place to move to. And when you move into the mind's eye and you answer the question, what would I like this present situation to be instead? Now you can see. It's quite the description, going to the eye of the hurricane. That's the calmest place there is. You want to get to a very calm place because right now you are aware of the churning and the turmoil. So you can't see the way out with that churning and turmoil. So the analogy that I always give that seems to be very helpful is the little child jumping in the puddle. And they say, but I can't see my face. I can't see my face. And they're jumping in the puddle of water, but then they stop jumping in the water. And the stuff begins to settle to the bottom. And they get excited and they say, oh, I can see my face. And they stand really still because their face starts to emerge. It's not that their face was not there to begin with. It is that they were jumping up and down, meaning life was chaotic. Life was churning. So in order to see your way forward, to see yourself, stand still. And in the real world that we live in, if your bills are the problem, how are you supposed to stand still and be able to pay your bills? You stand still and quiet the worry of paying the bills. Quiet the worry as best as you can. And you'll begin to do what? See a solution, because that is what you are looking for. You're looking for a way to pay the bills. But if you keep churning and churning and churning, the solution that you come up with will have to match your churning. This is why you hear violence begets violence. A soft answer turns away wrath, though, because it is the stillness that shows you what to do. So if you just take a moment to just sit there and breathe and do nothing but that, you have already asked the question for the solution. You didn't have to open your mouth to do it. You already have asked for the solution. So by being still and just sitting there and getting a bird's eye view, you will see the solution. And if you remain calm, that solution, when it presents itself to you, is a perfect match to your calmness. Why? Because as within, so without. The reason why also that you stay calm is because as you're churning things about, it creates desperation. And what do they say? Desperate times call for desperate measures. Well, desperate times cannot call for calm measures, is what I'm trying to tell you. So if you find that you are aware that you're desperate, go within yourself and just breathe and simply become aware of the fact that you exist. Nothing else. And that, just sitting there and listening to your own heartbeat or feeling your own heartbeat, all that is telling you is, I am aware that I am. And because now you're no longer desperate, you see your way forward, you see your solution. Why? Because you've mentally done something. Mentally, you have removed yourself from the situation, because physically, the physical will follow the mental. So you've got to remove yourself mentally first. We call it detaching. But all you're doing when you detach is to turn your mind inward to look at itself, to say, where am I? Who am I? And when you begin to see yourself, you become calm. And when you see your calmness, the solution presents itself and you get an idea. And that idea is now what saves you from your present situation. But I don't want you to believe anything I'm telling you. I want you to practice it for yourself. If wherever you are right now, I got snow, so I can't see the puddle. But if you get a basin with water and you keep slapping the surface of the water, your image becomes distorted, does it not? Stop slapping the water now. And what happens? The image begins to clarify itself. It takes shape, and you begin to see yourself. Now, imagine, if you will, the basin of water is your mind. And worry is slapping the mind. You can't see anything, you can't think of anything because it is churning around. So to stop worry, you don't force yourself to stop worry. You put your attention somewhere else. And where do you put your attention? Your heartbeat, your inhale and your exhale, counting your steps that you take. This is why people use the beads of the rosary to put their mind elsewhere. This is why people pace. You put your mind somewhere else. And when you put the mind somewhere else, it is no longer on the worry. So now you can see clearly. Experiment today, because I gotta go. Experiment today and test it for yourself. Remember, try it out. Get that basin of water, get a bowl of water and slap it, slap it, slap it. And you will not see your face clearly. But stop slapping it, and when you look into the water on the surface, you will see your own self. So that, my beautiful friends, is what meditation is. To quiet the external circumstance, you go within and create the quietness there. You create the quiet on the inside, and the quiet on the inside will project itself towards the outside. Why? Because as within, so without. You must reap what you have sown. So if you plant peace and tranquility within the mind, peace and tranquility is what will grow in your world. Again, don't take my word for it. Test it for yourself. And when you see how it works, can't nobody break my stride. Nobody gonna slow me down. Oh no, nothing can hold you back from there because now you see the cause. So how can anybody slow you down or hold you back? And that, my beautiful friends, let us get the chime for a few moments. I got 2 minutes with the chime. And when you hear the chime, go within and quiet yourself. Countdown initiated. But before we do the countdown, hello, Symmetric. I see you on Twitter. Miss McQueen, Joaquin is in the house. Ray Ray, KZ, beautiful Oracle Treehouse. And oh, look, I spy. I see you, Spy, on YouTube. Thank you for being here. Now let us do the countdown. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you all for being here on this glorious Monday. Go forth and practice just simply recognizing that you exist. Much love to each and every one of you.